Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Beauty Pop Podcast. I'm Victoria with my lovely podcast radio sister, Jennifer Horn. Yeah. I always call you my radio sister, but you know, we have to be just podcasters now. So my podcast sister.
It's okay. It's all audio. I guess it is boring, isn't it? We can still say radio, can't we? It's audio. It works. It's fine.
I guess, right?
We're just sisters from another
that is like
mister.
Yeah, that is like what we actually do. So we should probably just,
all right.
We should just admit that we're in boring radio.
Officially. That's right. I don't know. I love it.
This is the fun stuff.
Yes, this is our junk food for our brain. That's what I always call it.
Absolutely. So today we've got a couple things we're going to cover. Last week, if you heard last week's episode, Jen gave me the whole lowdown on fake nails.
Yep,
I did it.
I can't wait to hear it. They look great. They look really, really good.
I'll give a little update on that, how that process went. But we're going to start with it's October. Mm-hmm. This is the month every year. I'm on the East Coast. I'm on the Jersey Shore. Jen's in LA. So October on the East Coast is the month that kind of wrecks my skin. Yeah. Because we have really warm days. Like right now it's like 72 and sunny and it's beautiful. We've had 5 straight days of just rain, like we lived in Seattle. So there's a lot of humidity in October, but there's also a lot of dry air, and it moves in. Like one day it's nice and warm, and then the next day October's freezing in New Jersey.
Yep.
So this is the month that my skin has no idea how to handle it. And I have dry skin to begin with, and this month already has just wreaked havoc on the moisture barrier. My skin is so dry. I've been trying to exfoliate. I've been doing moisture bombs with the Augustinus Bader cream that we talked about during our night routine episode, and nothing is really working. So I figured today would be a good time to talk about our favorite exfoliators, because if you don't exfoliate regularly, you might as well, you're just wasting money on other products. Right?
Yeah, because it's not going to, your skin doesn't drink up anything if there's a bunch of dead skin and impurities stuck in your pores.
Yep, it's true. It's also like, I forget, maybe it was a dermatologist I heard once say, think of your face as a sponge. A damp sponge is going to absorb so much more liquid than a dry sponge.
That's deep.
And so it's right. But if you think about it, like a kitchen sponge, if it's totally dried up, you're not going to absorb as much as if you wet the sponge first.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of like, and that's kind of how I always try to think of my skin and skin routines. But the exfoliating is absolutely, that's like the number one thing.
Plus, how much better do you look when you scrub? Oh. I don't know. I feel like I can tell when my skin starts to dull up. And actually today, because I haven't exfoliated probably in a week or two, and I'm just looking at you today and I'm like, ugh, looking back at myself going, it's time. This is appropriate. It's a good reminder because I'm out of the habit.
So why don't you start with your because you have a favorite, and I have to say it's a brand, and some of you guys listening might remember there was an original, a different Beauty Pop podcast that my friend Dominique and I did for a while. And we did talk about the brand that you're going to mention, Kate Somerville. And we talked a little bit about it back in the day, but that's not a brand that I have ever really gotten into. And
did she like it? Did Dominique like it?
I don't remember her saying anything glowing either. Yeah. And I feel like everything I've tried from Kate Somerville, I've been really disappointed in. I've tried what have I tried? There was an exfoliator that ripped my skin apart. It was so harsh. I forget the name of it.
That's why I like this
I don't think
one,
they make it anymore.
Oh, maybe that's why. The one that I always think of,
because it was too harsh.
I think we talked about it, that St. Ives, the apricot body or the apricot face scrub. We've laughed about that before. That one was like ridiculous. Yet as a kid and our moms in the 80s and 90s were sitting there going, argh. And so I want to actually, this is what's weird, because I like a hard massage. I like to feel stuff. Like if I'm going to exfoliate, and I know there's a lot of people, and it's probably better for your skin, and I can hear the lecturing coming now because I just know I need to feel some grit on my face if I'm going to exfoliate. I just want to feel it. I don't want to be ripped apart like I'm using the apricot scrub, but I want to feel that there's a little something to it. And so Kate Somerville, I'll tell you how I actually even came across it. I had a friend of mine who I used to work with for years, actually in the cable television industry, sweetest guy ever. And we'd always exchange Christmas gifts. And he was always so thoughtful. Like, most guys will get you like a Sephora gift card or something like that, right?
Yeah.
He had his daughter go into Macy's and he gave me this big Kate Somerville gift set. Which I thought was really sweet because he knew I liked makeup. He knew I liked beauty. And so he gave me, which wasn't cheap. And I had never tried Kate Somerville products before. I'd seen them. I'd heard about them. And this is a few years ago. Mm-hmm. And so I really went through them. And like you, I didn't hate the products, just nothing really was like shining for me. I thought the cleanser was fine. I thought there were a couple of serums that I liked, but it wasn't something that I was like, oh my God.
There was a moisturizer. Yeah. There was a moisturizer that I tried and I was like, Yeah. I feel like meh. That's kind of like how I would describe the whole brand. For me, it just, like, I don't know. I know
it's not one
she's got a cult following.
She does.
I know she's a, she's a facialist esthetician that's and has a lot of celebrity clients and all that. It just, I don't know.
I wasn't something like nothing turned me off. It was just, most of the products were like, I don't know if I need that again. I used them. I kind of like, they hung around a little bit, but
so we're on the same page with Kate Somerville.
But this one really stood out for me. So it's the Exfoliate cleanser and it's a daily foaming wash. I don't use it daily, but you can. It's gentle enough to use day and night according to what they write. It's $44, but you get a lot and you only really need a little bit. So it lasts a long time, especially if you're doing what I do, which is I try to exfoliate a couple times a week. Like I said, full disclosure, podcast of honesty here. I haven't done it in a couple of weeks, but I really like it because it foams up a little bit, but it still has the grit to it so you can feel it. It's not ripping you apart. I don't like those little beads. I don't like to feel like they're plastics in my exfoliator. Like to feel the beads to me is kind of worthless. So I like this. I like the consistency of this. And what's really cool is what I'll typically do before I get in the shower, I put it on my face, leave it on, shower, and then when I get out, I rinse it off. And the reason for that is it tells you to leave it on for a couple of minutes. So it's almost like an exfoliant and a mask treatment all in one. Oh. And I do it when I get ready in the morning.
There must be some like acids in there.
It has to be to help exfoliate.
Right.
Yeah. And so
the leaving on part, because if there must be something in there that you benefit from leaving it on.
Yeah, it says you
a regular
leave it on
scrub.
It says to leave it on a minute or two and then to wash it off. But because it's the shower and it keeps the steam, keeps it moist, it's really kind of the perfect way to do it. So I put it on, get in the shower. When I get out, I just splash it off and then go on the rest of my skincare routine. But it really does leave my skin. It feels soft. It feels refreshed. It doesn't feel dried out because a lot of times us dry skin girls, when we use an exfoliant, it can strip everything off of your face. And I don't like that either. But
also, it's a foam. Get it.
Yeah.
And foaming washes are the most drying. If you have dry skin, hot tip, avoid foam cleansers.
Because it
They're
does
just
strip.
Horrible.
Yeah.
But this is interesting that it doesn't do that for you. So there must be some hyaluronic acid in there. There must be maybe some AHA, some BHA, all the A's. There's something else in there.
I was looking to see what the ingredients were. I haven't even really given it the look, but
I love that it's so easy and it works well for you.
It really does. And it's $44. And so it's a little more than you probably want to pay, but it's a good amount. You get 4 fluid ounces.
If you use it once a week, twice a week.
And then it lasts a while. And I like it. It's kind of, when you were talking about exfoliators, it's the first one that kind of jumps into my brain. And I mix it up. I try them. I've tried some that are just so harsh that I don't like them. A lot of times when they do exfoliators, and it's funny because you think if you have dry skin, that's when you want to exfoliate. But a lot of them do it for oily skin. And I think a lot of exfoliating products target those people that have it, which is fine. It's just, it really does dry me out. So this one I like, and it doesn't feel so overwhelmingly stripped after you take it off,
which is important. Yeah. I'm really impressed that it's a foaming. I know I'm going back to that, but I'm impressed with that because it is. I've never once in the history of washing my face ever found a foam cleanser that didn't dry my skin out.
I don't know.
Ever.
This one does a pretty good job of it. It doesn't have, again, I always put lotion on. I always put a moisturizer on right after. I couldn't not, because I would just, I'm sure at that point you'd feel the dryness, but it's not as bad as some of the other exfoliators. I'm trying to think of the brands like was it DDF? I think I've tried a few, like scrubs and stuff, and those are really targeted towards oily skin, and they just left me feeling like I was in a desert after a long dry summer.
I get it. I totally get it. So I like that idea. And the thing is, I love how easy it is to use a foam cleanser because it's just so, it just washes off really easy. And I love the ease of it. So I might actually try that. My skin, as I was saying, has been so dry that like I can feel a textural change. Like that's you can feel it. So I have 3 different exfoliators that I kind of keep going back to. I have tried everything. I have tried Aveeno. I've tried CeraVe, the daily exfoliating wash, but it doesn't have anything really in it, so it didn't work.
I was not a fan of Aveeno. I've tried that one too. The Aveeno.
I have the Aveeno, the
one.
daily. Yeah, the daily exfoliating. Yeah, it does nothing. No. I was so desperate that I was in the shower 2 weeks ago, and I mean, I've showered since, but
thank God.
2 weeks ago, around 2 weeks ago, when I was in
Things
the
are
shower,
ripe around here.
Yeah, I just realized how that sounded when I said it. I'm like, oh no. But I was so desperate that I even used my husband's exfoliating scrub from Clinique for Men.
Yeah,
and that's basically, it squeezes out. It's like this. It's almost impossible. I guess you have to be strong like a guy to like squeeze it out. It's like a clay kind of thing. I was so desperate, I even tried that because my forehead was actually the driest part.
Yeah.
It was my forehead was super dry and right along the sides of my nose. And I was so desperate that I was even using that. And I probably did damage. Like I probably irritated my skin because I was just trying anything in the shower to just get rid of that surface layer of dead skin. And I had.
Did you try a nail file?
I know, right? I should have. I mean, I felt desperate. It's been a long time since my skin was that dry, and I was coming off a virus, so I was sick, like in bed, sick for like a week.
Do you notice when you get sick, your skin gets sick too?
Yeah, and you know what? This is the first time that I actually really noticed. Like when I had COVID in June, the beginning of June, my skin definitely got a little dry, but it wasn't like this. Like you're right. I never put that together, but
every time I get really sick. Yeah. And what's funny is that when I'm sick, I'm actually better to my skin. I don't use makeup. I'm home. I've got my face washed. I'm doing my skincare routine. I'm drinking water. I'm getting rest. More. But man, there's something about the sickness, especially when you're really sick, when your skin is just like, ugh, it's checked out. Like all resources are fighting off whatever bug you've got.
It's so true. I never really put that together, but you're absolutely right. And especially, so this was a virus that we got. We tested negative for COVID every day, but I'm kind of still convinced that it was COVID because it was all the same symptoms. And my husband never gets sick. We've been together for a long time. He's been sick one time, and it's when he had COVID. And he got this virus the same day I did. He had 102 fever. The timing was very odd. But anyway, it totally wreaked havoc. So you mix a virus and the month of October on the East Coast, and it equaled, like, I mean, my skin, like I was convinced people could see the flakes on my skin. Like it was so bad. I felt scaly. But the downside was because I wasn't feeling well and I only used whatever was in the bathroom. I had run out of an exfoliating, it's a gel cleanser that I actually really like, and it's from Goop. I like a lot of the Goop products because they go through a lot of testing, and like Gwyneth is very involved in it too. And she's like, if I'm not using all these products all the time, then, there's no point in making them. So it's a cleanser called, it's the Goop Glow. That's their new beauty line. And it's called Cloudberry. Well, I don't know what a Cloudberry is, but Cloudberry exfoliating jelly cleanser. Dingle. Now another thing, Now a jelly cleanser
like
is another thing
went right past that.
Wait, what did you say? I missed it.
Don't even go back. Don't even go back.
Wait, what? Oh my God! You have to tell me.
What's good about the jelly cleanser?
No, tell me what is it? Cloudberry related?
I just named another kind of berry that you might have.
I'm lost. What?
I said dingleberry.
Oh. You can always count on Jen to be like the 7th grade boy sense of humor. Always.
I know.
Always.
And it made me laugh. Well, what cloudberry? Come on. What is that?
I don't know. If it's a berry, then it's some berry I've never heard of. I don't know. Okay. But the cleanser itself is
sorry.
Yeah. No. We don't have to be serious all the time. It's fine. So the Dingleberry exfoliating cleanser,
cloudberry.
Yeah, Jen has renamed it. It is a really we're gonna get stuck on this now. It is a really effective exfoliator. It has some sort of, I know, Jen and I, like, this is what happens when we try to talk serious stuff on the radio, too. I know. We would have moments like this all the time. It's like, let's just break the fourth wall, right?
There it goes.
Anyway, you good?
I'm good. Perfectly fine.
Back to the cloudberries. So anyway, it's $35. And here's my only thing. It's an effective exfoliator. It's a nice cleanser. I always do a double cleanse anyway. Mm-hmm. So like, I wouldn't necessarily say it's like my only cleanser, especially if you have makeup on or in the summertime, right. If you have SPF or something gunky, like that you really need to cleanse, it's not going to give you that type of clean. So I would just use it as an exfoliator and less of the cleanser part, and still use your regular cleanser. But it does rinse off nicely. It feels really good. The jelly consistency is really nice and soothing, and it does exfoliate well. I just found that for $35, maybe I made the mistake of leaving it in the shower because I feel like a lot of product went right down the drain.
So
like less on my face. And
that might be the jelly though.
Yeah. I think that it's the type of exfoliator that you would be better off leaving it on your sink, so that you can actually really be specific and target it. But in the shower, I felt like it was $35 that kind of went down the drain pretty quickly. And then Lewis started using it too. And I was like, what is with men? they find the most expensive thing in the shower. And
this is great.
And they use so much of it. And it's like whether
they're using it on their body.
Yeah. Fancy shampoo from the salon, right. Like that goes right down the drain if a man uses it. I mean, it's just, yeah. So I just found that like, I would definitely buy it again, but I think I would just have to make sure it was my sink exfoliator and I would take it out of the shower. That would be the only thing that I would kind of caution. Now, there's another Goop exfoliator that has it's a chemical exfoliator as well as a physical one. This product is honestly incredible. It's expensive though. So it's the Goop Glow. It's the Microderm Instant Glow Exfoliator. So you wash your face. It almost has like a clay. It's a like a mixture between like a clay and like a thick moisturizing cream, right?
Is it like a paste
thing? A little bit looser than a paste, but yes.
Okay.
You're right on. Yeah, you're on target. And so you rub it, like you just basically like kind of do like a little mask. So you just put it everywhere on your face. You let it sit for basically 2 to 3 minutes tops, because you can actually burn your face. And so you let it sit on for like 1 or 2 minutes. You'll feel it tingle like right away. So the acids are really working. And then when it's time to rinse it off, that's when you add water, and then you get the physical exfoliation. As you're wiping it off. So, and the thing is, and this one of the reasons that I like, Gwyneth is, I think she just turned 50. So she looks great. I like to have, she looks great. And so I love she is really into skincare, and she's at an age where she's trying to preserve, what she has. And so like, I like having somebody ahead of me, like designing these, like creating these products that I'm going to need in 10 years.
Especially someone that looks like her. Cause you're like, I want to do whatever she's had. Like I'll have what she's having.
Right. Exactly. So this is the product that she, like, I've seen her on a million blogs and interviews and podcasts. This is the number one product that she uses all the time. She uses it every day, and because she's worked up enough tolerance. I would not recommend that because it's strong, especially if you have sensitive skin. Stick to twice a week, which is what it says on the label. It is incredible. And they also, whatever they use, I think it's natural. It's not microbeads. It's not plastic, because that's horrible for the environment. But it's whatever the little physical exfoliator that they use. It's designed so that you don't get any tears, so you don't get any.
So it's gentle,
any broken capillaries, or whatever, because they're perfectly rounded and smooth. So it's the opposite of St. Ives, the apricot scrub. It's the opposite of that. So it's not like, it's not a walnut shell that's like
rubbing
jagged.
it on your face.
Yeah. I still can't believe that like our moms did that. That's so funny. But this product is this is great. And I've used this now probably since it came out. The only downside is it is a bit pricey. It's $125, but this will one jar lasted me. It was 4 or 5 months, maybe even more, maybe 6 months. See,
that's the one thing that scares me off, because I know you love Goop and I want to love Goop. I get the newsletter, I get the whole deal, but I feel like everything.
It's good for the sensitive people.
Yeah, but it's good for the rich people, because everything she sells is really expensive usually. And I don't know.
It is, yeah.
It just always seems like very high-end stuff, which there is totally a market for it. And I totally splurge on stuff every once in a while, but it feels like it's just consistently high priced. So I guess I need to give it a try, because I really would like to find a good exfoliator. I like the Exfoliate. I'm still in the market for something else. So I'd be interested to try that, even if it's a little pricey.
Well, if you sign up for, I use Goop vitamins.
Giving your firstborn child
Goop stuff. Yeah.
I have firstborn and you could get the free cream.
Right. I signed up for the subscription plan, which saves a little bit of money. So if you sign up for the subscription, it's only $112. So you save a little bit of money.
So what do you get with the subscription?
It just means they'll mail it. You can set how often you want it. So like basically you get a discount, and then you can say, deliver it to me every 6 months.
On the product you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So and they do that with all their products, which I think is actually helpful, because you can save money, and it's not like you're committed to having it every single month. You can set whenever you want, and
you can cancel it. I would imagine
our wine
too,
clubs
right?
that way. Yeah, you can cancel it anytime. Yeah. So that is a good one. If you want to make an investment, and especially with, depending on where you are in the country or in the world, we have listeners all around the world. And so if the weather is getting colder where you are, it might be a good investment. Like I said, you use such a tiny bit of it. And I think it was at least 5 months, because I kept postponing my subscription because I still had some product. So I didn't really need anything new yet. But that is, so those two from Goop I would highly recommend. The Cloudberry is fine. I just think for $35 I could do better. I can find something better than that.
Right.
It goes fast. Yeah. It's totally fine. If you're already ordering something from Goop and you want to throw something else in the basket, it's fine. I wouldn't rave about it. I have one thing though that I want to share. If you are an OG beauty popper, you have heard me talk about this over a year ago, maybe, a year and a half ago or whatever. But this I think is new to you, Jen. And this product remains one of my favorite finds of all time. I'll start with how I actually found this product. I read a ton of beauty blogs and, magazine newsletters and all kinds of stuff. And so my inbox is jammed with beauty stuff. And there was a writer for one of the magazines, Allure or, In Style, one of the good ones for beauty products. And this was at the beginning of COVID, maybe April or May of 2020 is when I read this. And so her family, she lives here, but her family is in Japan. So she goes back and forth to Japan to visit family. She was actually in Japan when COVID hit, and then basically chronicled, I was with my family during the beginning of lockdown. I was able to get a flight out and whatever. And then she started talking about how every time she's in Japan, she stocks up on this exfoliator. And I'm like, okay, because I was searching for exfoliators at that time. And to this day, and I've used this now for a while and I love it. It's a Japanese brand. There are instructions written in English and Japanese. I have no idea how this works, but it's the most amazing thing that I've ever put on my face for exfoliating.
But it does.
It's called Cure, and it's natural aqua gel. That's it. And then it just has a bunch of Japanese characters like No idea. So she said, she was like, just trust me. It's the weirdest, coolest product to ever use. Just trust me. This is the greatest thing ever. $30 on Amazon for a big bottle. And I've had this, I mean, you can see the bottle's still half full and I've had it for 2 years.
Yeah, it's huge.
And it is incredible. Do you remember when we were kids, when you went to the dentist, they would give you those little red pills to chew on? Did you ever remember them? Like when you would go for your annual cleaning.
And then I took a nap, a long nap.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very Alice in Wonderland.
I know.
And
do you mean like the fluoride tablets? Like the little, because mine was like a grape tablet that you'd suck on or something in between visits to the dentist, or they would give them to you at the dentist?
No, these were, it's so funny. Like, I feel like maybe this was a New Jersey thing because I grew up here and like everybody around here, like all of our dentists, you gave these out. They were little red chewable. So basically what it was when you're a kid, it's designed to help you. So what you do is you brush your teeth, then you chew on one of these little red tablets and where there, and
then like you can see if you missed a spot.
And you can see where you missed. Yeah. So like you can see like where the plaque is, that you missed. And it's kind of like a guide that, dentists for kids use or whatever.
We had a poor upbringing. Glad you know what that is. Have those, but yes. I thought your dentist was up to some funny business. I would be like, I saw that episode of The Golden Girls. I know, when Rose was getting molested by her dentist.
Yes.
Yeah, it was not good.
Oh my God. No, this was not like that. So, but anyway.
But yeah,
so
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so it was very helpful to see the spots that you missed, right? Mm-hmm. This is kind of the same thing, but for your face. It is wild. It is a gel. It's a clear gel, has no scent. It's the most bizarre product that you'll ever use. So you wash and dry your face. Make sure your face is completely dry, right? So you squeeze out. It says 1 pump. I always use like 3 or 4. And you and it goes on as a gel. So you just smooth it all over your face and you let it sit for about a minute. And after a minute, it starts to turn milky white all over your skin. Okay. And when that happens, you take 30 seconds and you rub gently in circles and you'll see all these white beads that just appear all over your face. It's dead skin. There's no, there's, I know. I have no scientific idea how this stuff works, but your skin is left as if nothing happened except you got like a hydrofacial.
I need to see, I need this.
You can see, and you can use it all over your body. You can use it on elbows, hands, whatever. You can use it everywhere. And this is the thing. I was looking it up because I was like, I gotta know more before I talk about this product again. Because the last time I talked about it, I was like, this is some sort of witchcraft. Like, I don't know what it is. So this is what I don't understand. And I'm sure someone, maybe if you guys know the answer, you can, help us out. This is 91% activated hydrogen water. That's what this is made of. Hydrogen water. I don't even know how hydrogen water can make dead skin just fall off your face and bead up with no scrubbing. There's literally like, there's no friction. It just does it. And
okay, so how much is this stuff?
$30 on Amazon. Like,
wow.
I'm telling you, like, I literally can't even put it into words until you use it. And then you're just like, what it feels like witchcraft. It really does. And I'm looking at the other ingredients. I'm like, okay, so there's got to be something acid or something in here. No acids. It's no fragrance. It's fine for sensitive, acne, skin, doesn't matter, all skin types. And the only other things that are in it are like basic things like rosemary leaf extract and ginkgo biloba leaf extract and aloe. Yeah, an aloe leaf extract. Like, I mean, what? Like, I'm telling you, it is the most unbelievable thing. It says you can use it twice a week. I forgot that I had it when I was going through my freak out, a couple weeks ago of like my skin being super dry.
Did it work?
Then because I had, oh my God, it was the only thing that worked. After even using my husband's scrub, which probably did damage more than help. I found this in the back of I have a little like hutch in the bathroom that's just products, and I have not been keeping it well organized. So I forgot that I had this, and I was digging through stuff and I'm like, oh my God, Eureka. I still have this bottle, and to see I mean, it's unbelievable. It's literally like going back to the red tablets that you chew on. It literally shows where it beads up on your face where you've missed exfoliating. Like if you've used a different other product or whatever, I'm telling you, you have to go onto the website because you can see a video of what I mean with the white bead. Like it just beads of dead skin, which is gross, but it's also really satisfying.
Tell me the name again. It's Pure. No, what is it?
It's Cure, like Cure, the band from the 80s, The Cure.
Yeah.
So Cure Natural Aqua Gel. That's it. That's all it's called.
Right.
You can Google it. And they have
I'm going to Amazon.
They didn't even have. I don't even think they had a website when I first ordered this. I think this is new now. So their actual website is cureaquagel.com. So you can order it directly from there too. But it's actually $5 cheaper on Amazon. Just make sure you're buying it from, again, with Amazon, you and I are always warning everybody.
Yeah.
Make sure you're buying it from like a legit source. I'm telling you, it is witchcraft. It is absolute witchcraft.
I can't wait to try
bought
this.
it. Yeah. My godmother has sensitive skin like me. She bought it. She like started using it on her boyfriend's elbows. I mean, like it's amazing. It's unreal.
What it reminds me of are those foot masks. Have you tried those? The ones that are like the baby peels or the baby foot, whatever it's called, that you put on your feet and then like 7 days later all the skin comes off?
Yeah. I have a friend who like literally shed all over her house like a reptile. I'm like,
ew.
Also, I don't have dry feet. Like, if anything, my feet are like I don't have any I don't have any dry skin on my feet. Even
really?
No. Like when I get a pedicure, I'm just like, is that it? I guess I don't know. I mean, even all summer long, I'm in flip flops. I just don't have I have dry skin everywhere else, but I don't have dry skin on my feet. So, like, if anything, I'm always telling Lewis, every time I get into the shower, I feel like I'm going to slip and die, even though our whole tub, the whole bottom of our tub is like lined with those sticky things to keep you from slipping. And I still slip on top of them. That's how smooth my feet are all the time.
Baby feet. I wear heels or flip flops,
glass feet,
and nothing in between. Yeah. And so I mean, that's why I really try to keep up with my pedicures and my manicures. Cause I'm like, I'm not letting, I don't want to look like swamp creature. Ugh. And I feel like that's what would happen.
Yeah, so I have not
always
used,
been intrigued
to go back
those.
To your question, I have not used the foot peels, but all of my girlfriends have. And they claim that—
Do they work?
They're very effective. Oh, yeah. Like, yeah, I mean, it's gross because your skin's peeling off your feet. So, I guess if you live alone, right?
I know. Should I not admit it?
Some people love that.
It? Because I love that stuff. I love to peel. Like, that's the only good thing about a sunburn is that little—
Oh, I hate the peeling. Oh, yeah.
You don't like that?
I think growing up at the beach, like that, if you ever peeled, it's like the worst, it's like, yeah, then you've gotten too much of a burn. But no, I mean, it's funny, those foot peels became like, the weird things that people bought during lockdown,
that was
the beginning
product.
of COVID. That was a massive COVID product.
The reason I haven't done them is because you put them on and it takes like 7 or 10 days or however long it takes for the stuff to like actually like bubble up and fall off or whatever it does before your toe falls off. But I don't ever I never really was even home that long during lockdown. I was working and I had to go
guess
places.
That's why people figured out. Yeah.
Yeah. I never want to like go out and have my feet falling apart. So that's why I've never used them. But maybe this winter, once I get into closed toe shoes and boots, maybe I'll go for that.
Yeah, from all accounts, all of my friends have reported that they work really, really well, like super effective. So, but is that?
I want to hear about your nails.
Is that what?
No,
I was going to say.
Oh, that's
is that what made you think of this?
No, well, that's what made me think of that. Yes,
the Cure gel.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep. So I have a question for you because we are talking about like transition phases between summer and fall. And I live in Los Angeles, so we are still in summer. It's still 91 degrees while I'm talking to you right now. It's not cold yet. But I have started to lose that little bit of summer glow that I had. And I know tanning is bad, but you get it when you're outside. You're outside more during the summer. And I'm starting to fade. And you are always my self-tanning girl. And I just bought 2 products. I bought the Jergens lotion, the slow tinted thing,
classic,
which I've used before.
Beauty editor approved. Yeah,
everybody loves it just stinks. I think it smells bad still. I know they say it doesn't, but I still have the funk. So I haven't cracked it open yet, but that one I know and I've done and it's fine. but I bought the Jergens foam. Have you tried the foam at all yet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've tried, I mean, I've tried all of it. Here's the thing. I am not a big fan of the foam self-tanner in any brand.
What do you like?
Because I love Saint-Tropez. They sell it
I know,
at Sephora.
that's the one you turned me on
Saint-Tropez to me, yeah, Saint-Tropez, there's nothing that beats it. If you want to do like a little bit of a daily thing, I think Jergens is totally fine, but it does smell. Saint-Tropez smells too, but I find that the Saint-Tropez smell, you only really notice it while you're doing the application. And once you rinse it off, it doesn't smell anymore. It's gone. So I've used the Saint-Tropez, the Express, which is good. You know, you put it on, you let it sit for like an hour or 2 hours if you want a deeper tan.
Because they have the spray, they have the foam, and they have the cream. Which one from Saint-Tropez do you use?
I've used all of them. I like the foam from Saint-Tropez, I find is a little bit easier to apply in a more even way than other foams. So I would say as far as the foam goes, Saint-Tropez, I would say is the best, but I like the cream. They have a gel as well. They also have a great product for removal. I don't know, like a lot of companies don't make a removal product, and Saint-Tropez does. Yeah. So like it's the perfect thing, you know, to go around your nail beds, or maybe your knees and your elbows got a little too much. And
my feet are what I always screw up. My feet, because what I find is I wear strappy shoes, and then it's like the back of the ankles get a build up, and then if you wear a strappy shoe or something, a lot of times the tan, you have those stupid like strappy tan marks when you take them off, and then you're stuck. Yeah. So I would like a remover. I'd be totally interested in that.
It's a great product, and it, you know, a little bit goes a really long way. So that is, I mean, I'm sure they exist. So I'm not saying I've done the research on this, but I have not seen another brand besides Saint-Tropez that makes that remover product. So
all right.
I've used it, and it's not that harsh on your skin or anything. It's a 2 thumbs up. Speaking of thumbs, all right, now do you want
I got to see
my
your
nail
fingers.
update?
Yes, please.
Okay, so here, I can show you on
They
camera,
look great.
Right?
They look beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, can you see? That's a lot of length for me.
It's a lot of length. Yeah. Because you have below your nail bed, right? You have like low nails usually.
I usually have the tiniest bit of a white natural nail showing.
Okay, so just a little bit over the fingertip. Okay.
Yes. This is, I measured it because I'm a psycho now. These are in between a 1/4 inch to almost a 1/2 inch long.
Wow.
Just the tip. So it's long. But so here's the backstory. So last week you gave me the 101 on fake nails, and you said that the hard gel was the way to go. So that's what I got. However, there was a bit of a language barrier at the nail place. Okay. So I'm not really like, I made the appointment and I said, do you guys do hard nails? And the girl goes, yeah, like LCN. I said, yes. It wasn't LCN brand, but that's what she called it. So I went in and I showed a picture that actually happened to be one of J-Lo's manicures that I took with me. And because I like the oval shape and a little bit of length, and my nails were so horrific, like they've never been worse. I also think it coincides with my skin too, being as bad as it was. So I showed her the picture and I said, this is what I want. And then she pulled out the acrylics and I was like, oh no, I don't want acrylics. But she was like, well, no, it's just the tip. You need to, you have to build
the nail
the
tip. That's
okay,
right.
So I was not aware that acrylics would be involved at all. So that was a bit of a surprise. And then she laughed
just don't
and she
use
went,
that
first
powder.
time.
Yeah, first.
Right.
First
she went, first time. I said, yes. Yeah. So she glued on the tip. And then, and they're like the super long, squared, whatever.
You're like the crazy lady from TLC.
100%. Yeah. So, and then she was like, well, then they have the little nail clipper, but it like slides. This is all new to me. So anyone who has regular nail appointments are like, oh my God, this girl knows nothing. So anyway, so there's like the little clipper thing that slides. It's almost like a, not like a regular nail clipper. It's a little rounded thing. Okay. So that's how she was cutting the tip. And so she kept going, like I kept telling her, go shorter, go shorter, go shorter. And she looked at me like at this point, like, well, what's the point of doing this? Right. And I'm like, okay. So I stopped. I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. And she was like, well, once I file it and round it off, like it's not going to look that long. This is the longest. I mean, these are the longest nails I've ever had in my life. This is like, let me see. I'm 24 hours in. So, and I love how they look. I
was going to say they
do a
look
really nice
amazing.
job. she did a great job. So basically, it was the acrylic tip, and then she took the gel, which is this big, thick, goopy kind of gel, and she molded it with a paintbrush, and then you cure it in the UV lights like you're getting a gel manicure. And then she shaped it and all of that. And then she did 3 coats of an OPI soft gel, which is basically what they call just a regular gel manicure.
Nail polish. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I go back in 2 weeks to get it filled in, because I guess once it starts to grow out. Now here's my question. When you go back, do you have to start all over?
I think,
like, how do they get the polish off? Like, how do you do a polish change?
I think they're going to just take the gel off. So, that gel, the hard part, I think they'll probably peel off and then refill in again. Probably. Perhaps. I don't know.
So did you actually have these nails? You did this, right?
I had, I've only done the bio gel, which is the hard gel, but I had a broken nail. So they did that on one nail for me. But by the time I went in, my nail had already grown out. So they just cut the tip off because it was equal to the rest of my nails, basically. Right. So I've not had a full set of gel. So you're going to have to tell me that, because I don't know. That's out of my realm of expertise. But I think that they must, for a fill, they're probably just going to add more gel into the mix. I don't think they're going to have to start from scratch again. They'll probably take the polish part off. They'll probably put more of that goopy gel on to fill in the area by your nail bed. And then they
re-smooth it, and then
because
I want to do a different color, because we have an event the next day, so I want to do a different color, but I couldn't ask the questions because there was too much of a language barrier, so I was just kind of flying blind. And she was very meticulous with it. She did a great job, but I also think when I go back in 2 weeks, depending on how it goes, I may have her shorten them a bit.
And what's going to be
texting is kind of nuts. I don't know how the Kardashians do this. I don't know how.
With those crazy coffin nails.
Those crazy,
I know,
and they
never
lift
know.
babies. Like, they touch babies and stuff. Like, I don't know how you do that.
So what I think you may want to, is the reason I told you to get going with the biogel and the hard gel, is that your nails are going to grow. They're not going to break. And so what will probably happen either next time in 2 weeks, or maybe at the time after that, is that you'll probably be able to get rid of that tip altogether. They'll just cut that part off, and you'll just be on your natural nail with the biogel over it, and you won't have to worry. And that's why I thought that was a good solution for you, because you'll be able to keep your nails that length with the biogel.
And I did a lot of research after you told me about the hard gel. So I did a lot of research, and there are no fumes, there are no harsh chemicals. It's safer for everyone, the technician and for you and for your nails. And apparently the hard gel doesn't have anything in it that's really going to destroy your nails. So like for me,
it's better for you.
Yeah, like my nails got to such a horrible state because I was doing gel manicure after gel manicure, and the removal with the acetone and the soaking and the scraping and all that other stuff. Now I don't feel afraid to do a gel manicure over the hard gel, because it's not actually touching my nail bed. So
it's protective.
I kind of feel, and also like when I walked out of the salon, like you're so much more aware of your hands.
I know.
When you have these
when they look nice
long nails. Yeah.
I
And
know.
I feel like Hailey Bieber. Like I love Hailey. Hailey Bieber has the most beautiful hands, and she always has her nails are so perfect. So I walked out and I called Lewis and I go, I'm a fancy lady now. I'm like, I feel so fancy, and I feel like Hailey Bieber. And then we went out to dinner. I'm like, you have to take my nails out to dinner. And he was like, okay. I always have some excuse of you have to take me out. I got my hair done today. Yeah, we gotta go.
But you will. I think this is going to be better, because it's going to be your natural nail eventually, and the biogel is better. It really is, even though it's a little more expensive. I'm a really big fan. That's all.
But it lasts a long time,
and you'll probably be able to go more than 2 weeks.
Well, they said the first refill or fill in or whatever is 2 weeks, and then they said it's probably about 3 weeks after that, maybe even 4. Yep. It just depends. Yeah, they said it depends on how fast your nails grow or whatever. But it's. I love how they look. I did an oval tip because I don't like the long and square. That's not my jam. But it is amazing how much I'm just so much more aware of them, and I love how it looks. I don't know. We'll see. Because I'm kind of low maintenance. I know we do a beauty podcast about all the high maintenance skincare stuff, but in my life, I'm very low maintenance. So I don't know if these are going to stick around forever, but I love it. And I love how they look right now.
And
so
at least, like
that's
when you have special, yeah, of course. Thank you. Thanks for asking. But like, I think it's going to be great because at least you have an option when you have a special event that's coming up or, the holidays, whatever. I mean, I've just gotten into the habit where for me, it's my downtime. It's my like self-care time every couple of weeks to go to the salon and get my nails done that I just look forward to it. I just tried a new place and they did the biogel really thin and I loved it. So we'll see. Okay. I'll probably go back there again. I'm a transient when it comes to nail salons. And I finally found one really loved, but they didn't have an appointment for me. So I thought, well, I'll just try this new place. It's under new ownership. And I really loved how they did it because sometimes they get thick and heavy handed with the biogel. This was like, it looked great. So I'm going to go back there.
Yeah. When she painted it on, I was kind of like, oh, this is really like, what is this going to look like?
Yeah.
But she was really meticulous with it though. And I don't think it's that thick. Like it doesn't look like I have fake nails on. Like
it really doesn't. They look great.
Yeah. She did a really nice job. So thank you, Jen.
You're welcome.
I'm reaping the benefits of doing the podcast with you because I'm learning about all of the stuff that you love, which is great.
Are you kidding? I've got this new thing that I'm going to put on my face so that it beads up so I can look at all my dry skin.
I'm telling you, you should film a video of it like while you do it.
I will.
Because it's wild. It is really wild. Like you're going to go nuts. You're going to love it. I'll snap a picture of it and send it to you so you can order it.
I'm not going to exfoliate for like weeks. And then when it comes, I'll put it on and just watch it all peel off. It'll be great.
It's a trip.
I'll have no face. My nose will come off.
I'm telling you, like, it's going to blow your mind. You're like, wait, that's it? And all that dead skin came off and I didn't even feel a tingle? Like nothing?
I love it.
Wild. It's Harry Potter alchemy. I don't know what it is, but it's amazing and I'm happy it exists. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Beauty Pop. Follow us on Instagram at Beauty Pop Pod, and you can always send us an email with questions, concerns, comments, whatever, beautypoppod@gmail.com. And we've got some, in the last episode, we talked about nostalgic beauty and like mall stores that are no longer open. So we started doing a couple of polls. We'll put another one up to see if there's a store or a brand from the mall that you really miss. We want to hear about it. And
I've got a bunch of responses already. And I'm holding on to
so
them.
we're going to put together,
it'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll put together a whole nostalgia beauty episode because I think that's going to be hilarious to talk about all that stuff. And also we're going to do, we've got a really cool TikTok sensation dermatologist who's going to come on the podcast. And I'm so excited. So we're going to put out polls for any questions. Ask the derm. He has like 16 million followers on TikTok. Like he's amazing. And so we'll talk about that in a future episode too. But I want to make sure we get everybody's questions in for the doc because free dermatologist. Hello, like we no copay.
That, I know. Can I show him a few spots when we get here? I'll be like, Doc, can you check this out?
Absolutely. All right. Thank you guys so much. We'll talk to you next week.